Hi, my name is Ron Carlson, and I'm here with the movie Dead Ant. I'm here in Strasbourg, where we have just premiered last night at the midnight section of the festival here. And first off, what a great audience and what a great film festival. I had never really heard of Strasbourg, France prior to being invited here, and it is such a charming, wonderful town, and I have this crazy rock and roll ant movie. It's kind of, I guess Alan at Fright Fest probably agrees with this the best, that it is Spinal Tap meets them. So, and it really kind of is. It's hair metal meets giant ants. And there's a lot of music in the movie. Similar, I mean, I'm not going to compare it to Rocky Horror Picture Show, and that they're very different movies, but that movie is like it's a musical, and it's a movie driven by music that the crowd and audience participates in. And the same thing happens with Dead Ant. You know, last night, it's this big build-up, and then they play on stage, and the audience is clapping and singing along, and they pull out their lighters, and it's just like, you know, it's like they're at a concert. So, and a lot of people feel like, oh, it's a movie that, like, when you finish it, it feels like you kind of just went to a concert. So, so it was a really great time last night with everybody, and our film is wrapping up the festival circuit right now. We opened at Screenfest almost a year ago, and it won Screamfest for Best Horror Comedy, so that was really great. And it opened in the Mann Chinese Theater on Hollywood Boulevard to an audience of about 800 people. So it's really great to see this movie with a large audience. And then it went to Telluride and Another Hole in the Head, and did some festivals in the States, and went on to BIF, which is in Belgium, and it also went to Bafisi in Buenos Aires, where it was really well received, and they did like an encore screening where they played it in a park, in an outdoor park, to like 3,000 people. So it was just, it really did feel like a concert there, and I mean, people were up and swaying, and it was really, really fun. So I'm a big fan of the festival circuit, and it's a great place where you can really test your film, and especially being that my film is a comedy, is it internationally funny? Does it work in countries outside the United States? And knock on whatever, I don't have any wood, but anyway, I'm thrilled that audiences have responded, and I guess music is kind of international, so even if you are a down on your luck hair metal band like the guys in my movie. But as far as like the festival circuit goes, you know, there are certain festivals that seem to elevate your film, and then there's other festivals that are just as fun, but maybe aren't quite as important as like a higher profile festival. But as a filmmaker, I think anytime you can get your film in front of an audience and see the response and get the feedback, you know, you don't really need to ask a person after they've seen the film, is it great or was it terrible? Sit in the theater, watch the response, and you know what happened. So I think it's really a great experience to be a part of a festival and figure out where your film fits in. And you know, I didn't submit this to that many festivals, to be honest with you. I submitted it to Screenfest, and I was too late for Toronto, TIFF, sadly. But maybe it wouldn't have gotten in, I don't know. But anyway, we missed it. And from there, the film has really been invited to festivals. So our intention was just to sell it. And then as a pleasant surprise, we've been invited to, you know, several festivals around the world, and it's been it's been great. It's been a really, really good experience, and I'm so glad that it worked out the way it did.
Release date?
Yes, our film is going to be released in the United States January 25th, so it'll come out in theaters and then do VOD and DVD following, I think DVD and Blu-ray following a couple months later. I think that'll be available in April, and then our sales agent will be, hustling at AFM in Los Angeles and doing deals. But here I am in Strasbourg, France, and we met somebody from a UK label here. I won't throw out any names because there's no deal done yet, but they've made us an offer after seeing the movie yesterday. So, you never know who you're going to meet. And another thing, since we're here and this is a festival, I came all the way to Strasbourg, France, and this is awesome for me. There's a director, John Landis, very famous, and he was getting a Lifetime Achievement Award here. And just randomly, we both ended up here, and he is one of my favorite directors that I've ever met, and he has been such a big fan of Dead Ant throughout this festival and gave it a lot of praise and pumped it to audiences and said, come see it. And he did Animal House, which is a movie that was Lampoon based by a guy named Doug Kinney, who created National Lampoon, and then they did this script and they got John, and that turned into such a cult movie, a big movie, and a movie that nobody expected to become what it did. And it really did launch hundreds, if not maybe thousands, of comedies in the United States that are raunch comedies. And it was just a fantastic place. So there are amazing surprises. So a filmmaker that I've admired forever is somebody who I ended up meeting here and swapping stories with and being able to share the film experience with, and that was very special for me. And I just want to thank you, John, if you see this, that I'm again thrilled and so pleased that you are the person you are, and you are a great storyteller. He sat in a master class here that I went to, and he didn't talk about his work so much as he talked about his career and just stories, and just listening to him tell a story was amazing. He can sit down and talk to you and say, oh, you know what, here, this happened and this happened and this happened to me one day when I was meeting with Salvador Dali, and you're captivated by that story, and obviously because Salvador Dali is in the story, but you're captivated and you're like, oh my God, this is a great story. And I think that, every great filmmaker usually can sit down and tell you a great story, and he can certainly do that. And anyway, like I said, it was just a wonderful experience, and who would have guessed that would have happened here in Strasbourg, but it did. And thanks for watching filmfestivals.com. Come back and see us, and me, and Dead Ant.